Hey guys, so in this video we're going to be covering the stability and mobility of the core. So like we talked in the previous video, we want to start stabilizing our center of gravity, aka our core, and then we'll make our way outward. This is because if we mobilize a distal joint, then the previous already stabilized joints can be messed up within the kinetic chain. So in this video we're going to go over what muscles stabilize the core, how to contract your core, also called centering or hollowing, and we'll finish off with exercises so you can better activate your core. With how long this video ended up being, it's actually going to be sectioned off into different parts. So let's get started with the core. There are inner and outer muscles that stabilize the core. Inner muscles include transverse abdominis, TVA, multifidi, quadratus lumborum, deep fibers of the internal obliques, your diaphragm, your pelvic floor, and adjoining fascia, linea alba and thoracolumbar fascia. Outer muscles include your rectus abdominis, erector spinae, external and internal obliques, iliopsoas, and your latissimus dorsi. Now that we kind of went over all the muscles, let's talk about how to properly activate the core. Because a lot of people do this wrong or do not even engage the inner muscles at all. Properly activating the core. Exercise 1. When we tighten the core, we want to activate the transverse abdominis, your TVA. It is the inner layer that wraps around your core like a wide belt. We activate this by drawing the stomach in towards the spine, and we call this centering or hollowing. Next, we want to activate the pelvic floor. This sits at the bottom between the pelvis. To contract it, we gotta do Kegels, which is like you're trying to cut off the P in the middle of peeing. Last thing to remember in this exercise is to not contract the rectus abdominis, aka your upper and lower abs, the outside ones. Pelvic floor contractions. Now to lay flat on the floor, align your aces, your hip bones, with the knees in between your big toe and second toe. Next, while keeping the neutral arch in your back, we're gonna do Kegels. Stopping the flow of pee with a 2-second hold and a 2-second release, then repeat. Practice 2 sets by 10 reps for 15 seconds rest in between sets. TVA contractions. How to. In the same position on the floor, bring your belly button towards your spine. Try to keep your hips, lower back, and rib cage stable. Hold it for 2 seconds and release for 2 seconds. Practice this for 2 sets of 10 reps with 15-second rest in between. Combining both. How to. Now we put them together, the Kegels and the sucking the belly button in at the same time, and hold for 2 seconds and release for 2 seconds. Practice 2 sets by 10 reps with 15 seconds rest in between. Last step is adding normal breathing. How to. This time, hold the pelvic floor and the TVA contraction and breathe in for 5 seconds and breathe out for 5 seconds. Practice 2 sets by 5 reps with 15-second rest in between. Then try for 3 to 4 sets by 10 reps with 15-second rest in between sets. Next, progress to lifting the legs. With this exercise, you activate your Kegels, your TVA, and now we will add the rectus abdominis, so your outer muscles, and your obliques, to stabilize the spine. While lifting one leg, then both, 90 degrees, while keeping that natural arch in your lower back. You should be able to barely fit your fingers in there. On some people you might not, depending on the body mass or lack of mobility.
While you hold your legs up, breathe in for 5 seconds. Then bring the legs down one at a time and breathe for 5 more seconds. And repeat. Do 2 sets by 10 reps. 15-second rest in between.
Then progress to dead bug. Try to keep activating all the core as before. Put your arm straight up in the air, and this time as you drop one knee, you'll drop the opposite arm at the same time. Then come back to center and do the same for the opposite side while keeping the core activated and the spine stabilized. Do 2 sets of 5 to 10 reps. Glute bridges / leg progression. How to. For the glute bridges, also known as butt bridges, line up the knees with the second big toe to your aces, aka your hip bone. And you're going to push up with the butt. like you're humping the air while keeping the core tight to stabilize the spine. Hold for 2 seconds at the top. Try not to arch your lower back too much as you come into the bridge position. Do 2 sets of 5 to 10 reps. Then progress to the knee tuck. Bring the knee up towards your chest in the starting position. Hold it there as you do the glute bridges.
Then bring it down. Here's a view of the other side. Do 2 sets, 5 to 10 reps each side.
Plank progressions. Plank is a good way to practice activating the core. How to? Regular plank. Bend the arms 90 degrees with the elbows under the shoulders. Your wrists facing towards each other inward. Position the feet together. Tighten the core, front of the legs, aka your quads, and tighten the butt, your glutes. Keep everything in line. You can start planking on your knees, progress up to a regular plank where your knees are off the ground, and work your way up to 30 seconds each.
With these as well, you can do 2 sets of 5 to 10 reps.
And we'll do a side plank. With the side plank, you can start on your knees.
While keeping the knees stacked, keep your shoulder over your elbow and your arm 90 degrees.
Bring your hips up. Hold it there for 30 seconds.
Here's a view of the other side. While keeping the core tight and the spine stabilized. Do 2 sets, 5 to 10 reps each side.
After that, you'll be able to progress with the staggered step, which is just like it sounds, 1 foot in front of the other.
Tighten your pelvic floor, your TVA, and your rectus abdominis.
Bring up your hips and hold. And work your way up to 30 seconds.
Keep the arm 90 degrees, shoulder over your elbow. Here's a view from the other side. Do 2 sets of 5 to 10 reps each side.
Then progress to the last one, which is your feet stacked. So put 1 foot on top of the other and bring up your hips, tighten the core. Keep your kegel, your TVA, your rectus abdominis, and your obliques all tight.
Here's a view from the back. Same thing, 2 sets, 5 to 10 reps each side. 15-second rest in between.
Hips and thoracic spine movement. Cat camel. Get on the floor on hands and knees. Then line the hand about shoulder width apart. Arch your back upward into the air, getting movement in the thoracic spine while rotating the hips up. You'll look like a cat that's ready for battle. Then go into the camel by doing the opposite and arching the back downward towards the ground and putting your head up. Do 10 reps by 2 sets. Progress to the rock. How to? On all fours in the neutral position, tighten the core to stabilize the spine, then rock back, keeping everything straight as possible without bending the back. Eventually you'll reach the point where the hips will turn. Then rock forward the same, keeping the core tight and everything straight. Do 10 reps by 2 sets. Bird dog. And progress to the rock. Starting out in the neutral position on all fours, put one arm up and opposite leg up while keeping the hips and shoulders level. It's like the dead bug, but reversed. Then once you get that down, you're gonna rock backwards and forwards while keeping the core tight and everything in line, bringing the opposite arm and leg together for the dog. I'm not the best at this and definitely need some work. Start with just bird dog if rocking is too difficult. You'll want to avoid rotating the body within your shoulders or your hips. Do 10 reps by 2 sets. Standing cat camel. Now we're gonna take it standing. How to? Pretty simple. While standing, bend at the hips and knees slightly. This is also called the hip hinge. And do the previous cat camel arching of the back we learned before. Progress to go lower on the position until your elbows are on your knees. This will help get some mobility back and train the core even more. So cat camel, start on the hands and hips, then progress to hands on knees, and lastly, elbows to knees.
Try and get some good range of motion throughout the back before progressing to the next one. And same sets here, 2 sets, 5 to 10 reps.
So that's it for this video. You'll want to do these exercises for 1 to 2 weeks so you can properly train your core. Check out the rest of the exercises in the next coming videos, and I'll see you there.